Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ledgerly's playbook on how to avoid unnecessary penalties and interest from the IRS when it comes to underpaying our tax bill. This is specifically going to be focused on our side hustlers, our business owners, anyone getting 1099 income. That avatar where, hey, even if we do have a day job, a W-2 with withholdings, that, hey, those withholdings aren't going to cover our tax bill. If you want to understand more on that piece, the little W-2 versus 1099 drama and taxes related to that, check out the last video I put out last week. But today we're going to be talking about, the Q4 deadline. I got our estimated tax payment deadlines for you side hustlers, you business owners. That deadline is in a couple days here. So if we haven't taken care of this now and you haven't been working with an advisor, been on top of this, we're going to talk about, hey, what you need to know and what is the minimum we could put in to avoid any unnecessary penalties so we can keep more money in our pocket. Well, in your pocket, of course. I'm not taking your money. I might be. But before the whiteboard, ladies and gents, my name is Andrew D'Amico. I'm a CPA partner here at Ledgerly alongside my good friend, very bald, very handsome partner in crime, Mike Abrahamian, also a CPA partner here at Ledgerly, where we're talking about tax savings, how to improve asset protection, and build generational wealth for our clients. That's the whole goal. Strategies that we implement ourselves that have been tried, true, and tested. We're in the top tax advisor network in the country where we're sharing the wealth, sharing the knowledge. Because yes, we love to see ourselves succeed, but we wouldn't be good at what we do. We wouldn't be good tax advisors if we weren't making sure that all of our clients were reaping the same benefit. So please subscribe to this channel so you can stay in tune and on the lookout for any more free tax game from us. Shoot us a like if you're feeling risky, and your comments if you want to, dance in the comment section. But to our whiteboard, today talking about the safe harbor rules. And what that's alluding to is if we're going to be underpaid on our tax, the IRS actually has these different safe harbor limits and rules that if you meet any one of these tests as it comes to your tax payments for the year, that they're going to say, hey, you know what? They did their best based on whatever their knowledge or their own provision, and they paid in a reasonable amount. So let's say you only had $50,000 in net income or taxable income in one year, and the next year it was 150,000. Tax liability going to go way up. But hey, then we could push and pull on these safe harbor rules where, hey, maybe we don't need to pay in all that tax in order to avoid a penalty. And that's what we're going to get into. But the end game, the end goal is generally if we can have less than $1,000 due on our tax bill when we file our tax return in April or go on extension, whatever. If at the end of the day your taxes assessed, are up here and you had your payments, and then let's say you had, you owe the IRS another $900. Generally, you're going to avoid penalties. So playing between that fact and abiding by these safe harbor rules, we can limit our exposure. So few different rules. It's really two different sets of tests. And again, I'm talking to individuals, those people filling out a 1040. If we can pay off 90% of any current year tax, current year, this video is in 2026, but current year tax when we're filing our return is going to be 2025 tax return, right? It's in arrears. So if we could pay off 90% of whatever that tax due is going to be, or the taxes assessed is going to be on our 2025 return, we get 90% of that, we avoid penalties. So first example, let's say you had 20K in taxes. We'll say 25, 90%. It's going to be 18,000. So if you have $18,000 paid in by the time you file that return, you're going to be able to hang your hat on that and say, hey, IRS, I did my best. Goodbye. No penalties for me. But hey, getting the current year tax isn't always going to be, I don't want to say the best, but especially if you're not working with a tax advisor and you don't know the inner workings of the tax code, the different taxes from FICA, Medicare, Social Security, or self-employment taxes, namely, in top of our income taxes and the different tax brackets you might be in, maybe marital status change, which changes the picture entirely. It can be very hard to project your current year tax. So if we're not comfortable with using that first safe harbor test one, then maybe we can kick down to test number 2, which is 100% of the prior year tax, as in, hey, we're filing this return in 26 for 2025, but the prior year tax, 2024, what was that tax bill? If that tax bill was, again, I'll just use the same, let's change it up. Maybe you were one of those individuals that had a lower tax bill in 24, business took off, you got a promotion, whatever, and now 2025, your tax bill is going to be much higher. This is where the 100% of the prior tax could actually benefit us. Maybe we only had $10,000 in taxes owed in 24. So obviously, what's 100% of that? Yeah, spoiler, it's the same. But for someone that maybe ends up with a 25 tax bill of that 20,000 that I had up on the prior whiteboard, we're talking about you could be underpaid $10,000 and still avoid penalties. So the safe harbor it's the IRS's way of kind of working with you a little bit. You don't want to give them their money; they want your money. You meet them in the middle, pass one of these tests, and you can avoid the nasty IRS letters. But you'll notice I also have 110% down here. What does that mean? Well, if your AGI, adjusted gross income on your tax return, is greater than $150,000, then go back to our last example. The IRS says, hey, buddy, that same 10K, I know that was your 24 tax bill, but let's say in 2025, now your AGI is going to be 200K. They're going to be like, sorry, buddy, you gotta go give us 110% if you want to avoid any penalties. So what would that be? 11.1. That would be the taxes that you would have to have paid in by our payment deadline for Q4 for the prior year. And I know these deadlines can get confusing sometimes. That's also why I wanted to draw it up, because nobody realizes that Q4 deadline is actually in the following year, in January. And to make matters worse, the IRS loves this. 415 ring a bell to anybody? That's when your individual income tax return is due. So if you're underpaid, they're going to say, hey, you owe $5,000. Oh, hey, and your Q1 estimate's due. Great. So get a provision for yourself for the prior year. Understand these safe harbor rules, what you have at your disposal to limit exposure and unnecessary penalties and interest. Get this taken care of in the next couple days. And then, hey, let's pivot and start mapping out what this is going to be. And if you need help with that, get in touch with an advisor. I know a bunch of accounting firms probably aren't taking new clients during the tax season. We are not one of those firms. We're all about being proactive and planning and really lean heavily into that. And hey, the earlier you start in the year, the better. So please, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. It would help us a lot. It would mean a lot. If you like this video, left a comment, said you like my hair better than Mike's bald head, don't say that. He might get upset. He probably would. He might get a laugh out of that. Like, comment, subscribe to this channel, and stay tuned for more free tax game coming from the Ledgerly team.